if a bomb had exploded in a different room? Could World War II have ended 2 years earlier? There were at least 42 attempts to assassinate Hitler. But what saved this dictator again and again? Was it really just fate? Welcome to the channel where we explore the most terrifying moments in history. Today, we're diving into the secret world of Hitler's opposition from within the Nazi regime itself. We'll uncover bold plots, bitter failures, and the most famous near success of them all, Operation Valkyrie in 1944. By 1944, Nazi Germany was losing the war. Thousands of Germans, especially high-ranking military officers, realized that Hitler was driving the country toward total ruin. They weren't democratic heroes. They were desperate soldiers trying to salvage Germany's honor. Among them was Colonel Claus von Stauffenberg. He was far from healthy. After fighting in North Africa, Stauffenberg was gravely wounded. He lost an eye, his right hand, and 2 fingers on his left. Those physical wounds gave him a brutal clarity. Hitler had to die. Stauffenberg joined conspiracy, and together they began building Operation Valkyrie. It was a disguised contingency plan, originally designed to respond to an internal uprising. Now it would be used to seize control of the government immediately after Hitler's assassination. Everything had to be perfect. As a staff officer, Stauffenberg had direct access to Hitler during planning conferences. It was their only chance. On July 20th, 1944, Stauffenberg entered a meeting at the Wolf's Lair, Wolfschanz, Hitler's secret headquarters in East Prussia. His remaining left hand carefully held a briefcase. Inside was British plastic explosive with a chemical fuse. The tension in the room was almost tangible. Stauffenberg, placing the briefcase near the leg of the conference table, excused himself to take a phone call. Time was running out. Less than 10 minutes remained. As Stauffenberg walked away, he heard a faint movement near the briefcase. Then came the decisive moment. General Helmut Stief, or another officer, noticed the case blocking away as he leaned over the map, picked it up, and moved it farther away, right beside the thick, heavy table support. Seconds later, the bomb detonated. It wasn't a massive, enclosed blast they had expected, but a deep, violent explosion that shook the wooden barracks. The conference table was ripped apart. Smoke and debris filled the air. Watching the smoke rising from the compound at a distance, Stauffenberg was convinced no one could have survived. He sped away, past the first checkpoint, and began launching Phase 2 of Valkyrie, seizing control of Berlin. But inside the Wolf's Lair, a horrific scene unfolded. 4 men were killed, yet Hitler survived with injuries. What saved him? The heavy oak table leg acted like a blast shield, absorbing much of the force. And the change of location mattered. Instead of meeting in the usual concrete bunker, where the blast would have been amplified, they were in a wooden barracks with windows open because of the warm weather, which drastically reduced the pressure wave. Fate had spared the dictator. In Berlin, everything unraveled quickly. The conspirators didn't act fast enough. News that Hitler was still alive was broadcast, and Nazi-loyal military forces launched an immediate counterattack. By that evening, Stauffenberg and his accomplices had been arrested. Hitler's revenge was swift and brutal. Not only were Stauffenberg and the main conspirators shot that very night, Stauffenberg is said to have shouted, "Long live sacred Germany," before he fell. But thousands of others were dragged down with him. More than 7,000 people were arrested, and around 4,980 were brutally executed in the following months. Hitler lived, but the event made him even more paranoid and ruthless. He ordered, the army must obey the Führer absolutely. Operation Valkyrie failed not only because a briefcase was moved, It failed because the plotters in Berlin hesitated, and because of the chilling coincidence of one solid oak table. Yet Stauffenberg's attempt left an important legacy. It proved that even inside the most brutal totalitarian regime, there were people willing to sacrifice everything to resist evil, even if they failed. This story is a powerful reminder that history sometimes turns on a single fateful twist. If stories of historical truth and courage like this fascinate you, hit like and subscribe so you won't miss our next wartime secret. But what if Hitler had died in July 1944? Would the Allies have trusted a new German government? Let's find out in the next video.